Characters in my short story collection, Life on Other Moons, are searching for a home, a family, and a sense of self. The stories play at the intersection of life and death, worlds without men, worlds without women, worlds with broken moons and families, at times navigating the iniquities of racism and the Vietnam War. I'm reading a very short story and then two excerpts from a larger story. First one is called King Henry on a Porch Swing. You and the old lady have been bumbling around the home for weeks now in silence, unable to face each other. But one night, she corners you on the porch swing of your subconscious, your comfort place, and bitches at you about sex and Jersey and the day King Henry died, and how dare you ignore her. You want to get up and walk away, but you can't. It's your mind. She's working in your space now. She speaks, not so much in logical, audible words as in an uncanny barrage of subconscious thoughts and complex concepts and questions, and her package's origin about the child you didn't want initially, about the way he had sat in his pumpkin seat, already holding up his own head confidently, like a great king on his throne, and about the tiny shoes he had been wearing and the ease with which he could nap on the nape of your neck, and most of all about how careless you had been. Oh yes, she blames you. She speaks until you can't stand it anymore, until at last words fly from your own mouth like balloons finally escaping the wrists of children. Shut up, woman. Talking about King Henry on the porch swing won't bring him back. You wake up and her side of the bed is empty. The closet door is open, the light is on, and there is nothing inside. The second story, this is the first excerpt. It's called Stopping to Talk to Porch Lights When the Moon is Not Enough. As far as I knew, my mother was the last woman on earth the day her heart stopped beating in the produce section, and she plunged face first into the romaine. I was 8 at the time, and my best friend Matthew was with us. In the 10 years after that, I didn't see a single woman, and neither did any other man I knew. We were in a lonely new world, but in that world there was Matthew, and he had a way of making things better. We stuck together even in college. One night, when I was a freshman, I was sitting on the lawn of the Sigma Chi house, smoking, when the moon, the last great symbol of femininity, broke in half like a walnut cracking. A single egg-shaped object hurtled from the moon toward Earth and burst into flames when it hit the atmosphere. The two moon chunks floated there among the stars, and I watched them dance around each other for what seemed like hours. I wondered about the egg-shaped fireball that had fallen. Skipping ahead in the story a little bit. Matthew was a sophomore at Atlantic High, whose first love was science, and he had his own opinion about what had happened to the moon. I never understood him, and usually he would realize this early on and stop talking over my head. He would laugh. Sorry, he would say, did I upset your soft little English major noggin? Then he would reach both arms out and pull me towards him in one smooth motion, reeling me in like a master fisherman. Beard burn, he would say at the top of his lungs, and within seconds, I would feel the rough sting of his 5 o'clock shadow as he buried his face in my neck and shook his head back and forth, occasionally brushing his lips against my skin. He would laugh at me as I pretended to pull away. In those moments, I never knew what he was thinking, but for myself, I was hoping. Each time, wanting his lips to stay still on contact, and maybe suck in a little bit so that